or wrong correct for this session. The very first one is in fact wrong. As you can see when I underlined the constant, it's a -6, but we looked for numbers dealing with the +6. Actually, now that I look at it, I think I did it right. I didn't mean to. -6 times 1 will give us a -5, which is what's there. So yeah, I think I accidentally did that one right, even though I copied down the value there. So number 1 was correct. As you continue through that, it was factorized. -6 times 1 gives us -6. They add together to give us -5. There are factors. We set each factor equal to 0 and solve. Number 2, I meant for it to be correct. Let's see if it is. If we half our b, we get 1. Take away that squared. 1 squared is 1, so we're taking away that, and carry down the constant. Collect the like terms together, and number 2 was right. We got our common denominators and kept our fractions equivalent, so 11/15x is correct. Now number 4, we did 2 times 3, which is 6, but root 2 times root 2 should have been root 4. So this does have an error. Now the square root of 4 is 2, so I end up with a 6 times 2, making our end answer 12 minus 8, and 12 minus 8 is 4. So number 4 was wrong. Number 5, we changed the subject to make y on its own, which means that the coefficient of x is then our gradient. I chose to add the -2x over, and then I subtracted the 10. I halved everything, which gave me the coefficient of x being 3. Simplify, we have to make sure that 2 goes to all the powers. 4 squared is 16. B squared is b to the power of 4. And c to the power of 6 squared is c to the power of 16. So 5 and 6 are correct. Correctly broken down the prime factors. You may have broken them down in a different method, but you should have been left with these. This is an index form, the way I wrote it. Now this one actually had an error in it, but I fixed it in my problem. 40 to 55 isn't decreasing, it's increasing. And it is important we know which way they want to go. So if you treat this as an increase like I did, then we would have 40 to 55 is a change of 15 divided by the initial value of 40, which gives us a 37.5. So that's correct for this version. However, if you decided to do the decrease, meaning the initial value would have been 55, you would have done your numerator as your initial value and your new value apart from each other, but instead of dividing by 40 like I did in the increase way, you would have divided by 55 to show that you're decreasing, and your initial value was the 55. You'd multiply by 100 to turn it into a percentage. So if you did go that way, you should have had 27.3, correct to 3 significant figures, as your percentage. So this problem was a little messed up in the way it was originally written, but one of those answers is correct, depending on which way you look at the problem. Number 9, it wants us to estimate. Now, the first value there, I rounded to the nearest integer. Whenever we estimate, we want to round to one significant figure. So instead of estimating that as 11, I should have said 10 minus 6 over 0.5. In doing so, we then have 4 over 0.5. Using equivalent fractions to eliminate the decimal, I should have 40 over 5, which gives us a value of 8. So 8 is the correct estimation, so number 9 was wrong. The final one, express in standard form, is correct. So I hope you got all those correct. Even number 1, which I thought I meant to do wrong and had messed up on. But we have a few more days of this, and after the 7 days of this, you'll be given a little quiz to try and send me your working out for. So we got a few more days for you to continue trying to improve these skills.